Okay, guys, what a debate that was about Newcastle. So we're on to the final question, and we're going to Martin. So, Martin, what's your question for tonight?
Well, I'm going to bring it back to Manchester City.
Hey.
Let's get talking about us, shall we? We are a Man City fan channel after all, but let's talk about us. Even though I did enjoy about Newcastle, really good debate, and I do love Newcastle really. Anyway, here's my thing. Next season, when it eventually happens, in 2027 or whenever we're going to do it, all these players we're going to be linked with will be dead and gone by then. Who would you sell and who would you bring in? Stop, because we're going to have to redo this. Look at you. You're like a kid.
I couldn't stop laughing with it. I really do love Newcastle, honestly, Newcastle fans. Please don't go after me. Please. I'm sorry.
Hey, piss off, I've got to go up there again. I'm going to get lynched.
We'll never see you again.
I'm getting lynched when I go up there next
time. I think that's perfect. Well, I'll edit that one in. We'll start again, but I'm definitely keeping that bit in.
We're still on record.
We are still on record.
Right. I'm logging into Twitter right now.
Yeah, football owners, yeah. If you're a billionaire, you're not rich. Right, 3, 2, 1. Okay, guys, we're back. We've been having a bit of a laugh off camera, but it's over to Martin for his question. So, Martin, go ahead.
Are we ready? Right, okay.
We're keeping this in. It's over to Martin. We've shot this about God knows how many times. So, Martin, you're staying with your question. It's over. Over to you.
Well, the laugh was at my expense as normal. Right, anyway, swiftly moving on. Who would you sign and who would you sell when we eventually start? See, if you want to go through the first 11 goalkeepers, the lot, whatever, but who would you sell and who would you bring in?
Well, rather than go through, because obviously this will take forever, if we can just stick to 2 or 3 key areas, that'd be good. So 2 or 3 signings.
All right then.
Who they're going to replace?
We need strengthening.
Okay, and who do you want? So Tom, you're up first, mate.
Centre backs is obviously the one, innit? I think it'd be 2 centre backs in, so Stones and Otamendi out, and then bring Skriniar and I don't know who else to bring in, maybe Diaz, maybe. Yeah, Ruben Diaz, bring him in. Those
exactly.
2. Yeah, and then I'm trying to think of who else. Midfield, maybe the winger. If Sane leaves, Douglas Costa might be coming. Who knows? Douglas Costa might be getting on a cheap if we get him in, just for now, just so we have somebody in for a bit, because he's not young and he's not old. He's just in that point where we can have him for a few years until we try and find a proper replacement. So if we can get him in on a cheap, maybe Douglas Costa in for Sane as well.
Okay, Karl.
I like the Douglas Costa one. Actually, when he was at Bayern Munich under Pep, he was magnificent. He was really, he's dropped off now, but when he was under Pep at Bayern Munich, he was fantastic. For me, Stones is gone. I watch a lot of games for the past years. He always makes mistakes. And for me, I think 4 years he's done.
Yes.
We'll bring in Skriniar or Upamecano to replace him, and Otamendi too. I think in general is good. Right? The general, Otamendi.
No, who was the guy from Germany? What was his name?
Upamecano.
Oh, that's it.
Not Upamecano. Upamecano.
Mukuna Matata.
Yeah, that's him.
There you go.
1% though, Andy, to be fair. I still have a problem with number 6, Rodri. I still feel there's something just not right. There's something not just right. I think I don't know, maybe he's not aggressive enough in that position. Maybe he needs time, but I just worry about that position. And then on the left side, just play Gabby there. On the left, play Gabby, Aguero, and Raheem as a front 3. I think you'd be good. But So at the back, Skriniar, Upamecano, and then get rid of Stones and Otamendi, frankly.
Okay. Interesting point about Rodri. I mean,
I think that's harsh.
Oh, I mean, I'm at one for I mean, Karl did say maybe he needs another year and things like that, and maybe it's his first year, and I don't know. I think he's been thrown in a massive deep end with the defenders he's had behind him this season, with Laporte being out.
I also think we're not having Fernandinho to work off.
Yeah, with him being behind him. But I don't know. I mean, that's definitely a discussion for another day, because I think it is one that I think really sort of splits City fans. I think you get City fans going, oh, God, it's only his first year. Give him another, let's see how he does next year. But then you got other City fans going, like you said, they're not too sure whether even after a year he's showing what we really expected. So that'll be an interesting one for another day. Go on, Tom.
And you have to remember, to be fair to the lad, he did play centre back for a while as well, so he hadn't actually been fully put into his position for 10 games. He's not a centre back at all. He was put in there when Stones was injured, and then Otamendi was injured, and it was Dino and Rodri. So, he's done. I think he's done all right for what he's had to deal with in his first season. To be given such a big role and to try and follow up from Fernandinho, as we all know, who's class as well. So I think he's doing all right for his first season.
Well, is he 23? Is he 24 now? I can't remember. Is he turned 24, 23? I mean, that for taking, we're talking here. I mean, I think 23. Sometimes 23. I think we sometimes have to remember we're talking about Manchester City here. We're talking about surrounding the best players in world football, some of the best players in world football, in the Champions League. We're in this, return leg of the quarterfinal of the last 16 of the Champions League. We are current back-to-back champions, 198 points in 2 seasons. He's walking into a team and taking possibly the best central defensive midfielders place in world football, and we're expecting a Dino replacement. And I think sometimes we do forget how young he is. I mean, 23 is nothing. It is nothing. I mean, what's Fernandinho, 32, nearly 33?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's got 10 years on him. But that doesn't mean to say he will be a great player. He might be a dud. He might be somebody who can't learn. I'm happy to give him another year and see what it is. But there are plenty of City fans, Karl, who are with you, mate. They're not too sure about him. Yeah, Chris, go on. Sorry, Karl.
I'm just, it's one of those positions where maybe he needs more time. Give him one more year, because in our team, it's a hard position to play that single pivot. It's a hard position, man. And give him one more year, see what happens.
Especially like I said, you're trying to replace Fernandinho. I mean, there's not many better central defensive midfielders in world football. Never mind Man City. So I don't know. Chris, what are your thoughts?
I think on Rodri and Fernandinho is that Fernandinho is one of the best centre defensive midfielders out there, but he fits into that system like a glove. He is perfect for that role. So for Rodri to come in, or anybody to come in and take over from Fernandinho, no, I don't know of anybody who could really step into his shoes and be as productive as he was. That'd be one of my things with it. Another thing that I want to sort of raise about John Stones is he's a homegrown player, and everyone's sort of talking about Diaz and Skriniar and Upamecano and people like that. We are very tight on homegrown players. And John Stones, for his faults and everything, he might not have had a great season, or the end of last season wasn't great. But I think people forget 18 months before that he was all right.
I can't believe. Hey, we lost somebody there. We lost
Martin.
He's got.
It's because you said John Stones had a good 18 months. He's sick of it now. He's had enough.
It blew his mind and blew his laptop.
Yeah.
But
believe it or not,
that's a new laptop. Don't blow it.
Yeah. On the John Stones front, I agree with you. I quite liked him. You can hear this live on camera. I liked him for the first year or two. I liked him for the first year or two, and it's
just
not.
Double check what's going on there.
Yeah, there you go.
Was that like?
Yeah,
Like.
Yeah. I hear me out, right? I liked it. It's more disappointment from him because I expected more from him after his first season. That's all it is. His first 2 seasons, he was class. He was absolutely class. We thought, oh, here we go. And then when Laporte came in, we were like, oh, well, we've sorted this now. Vinny's the backup. Oh, we've got to mend it. And then he just hasn't performed in the past 2 seasons. So it's more disappointment for me anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think. I'll be honest. I mean, I've said it openly. I'm a John Stones fan. I like him, but I think he does get a little bit of unfair criticism. But on the other hand, I don't think, and I've said it to Martin, I've said it at matches and said it on the vlogs and things like that for the last couple of years. I just don't think he's improved under Pep, and that's my worry. You know. Oh, hey, oh, look, it is. Here it is.
He just missed me. Said I didn't mind John Stones.
Has anybody seen Zombies Dawn of the Dead, the 1970s one? he looked like the guy. You remember the guy? Have you seen it, Chris? In the shopping centre, he looked when he's about to be killed. Yeah, that's what he looked like then.
I'm trying to get.
Oh, you're there? You're not? Have you been killed yet?
Come on, Norman.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Pardon?
Are you still there?
Give me proper.
Yeah.
I can hear.
Right.
Shoot him! Somebody shoot him!
Wait,
Where's he going? He's off. He's live on camera. This. Oh God.
Anyway, God knows what, I have no idea.
He's sitting on floor.
I don't know.
He is. He's sitting on floor. Oh dear.
Hey up, Martin's in the house.
That's better.
There you go.
There he is.
There
because his computer or his laptop or whatever he's got is right next to his meter now.
Super. Just take your hands off it. That's better. He's alive.
He's alive.
Yeah. Right, Chris. Sorry, what were you saying, mate? I have no idea.
You know, I think
Zombies Dawn of the Dead, 1970s. What's he doing now?
Who knows?
And extra entertainment or something.
My point is with the what's going to happen with the squad and everything is we cannot overlook homegrown players.
No, we can't. We can't.
And I don't think John Stones is that bad a player that we just sort of like, yeah, off you go. You know, he hasn't had a real long run of games in this. And you're right, he makes mistakes. But he's almost encouraged to play an expansive style of football. He's not asked to hoof the ball away, which most centre-backs are asked to do at most clubs if they're in trouble. He's asked to try and transition it to an attack, you know. So I'm not one for getting rid of John Stones, if I'm honest. But you know, the question Martin's asked is massive, isn't it? Because if you went off this season, and if someone said to me, "Oh, we'll give you 150 million pounds for Raheem Sterling," I'd be like, "Yeah, take it." But Raz has just had a pretty off 6 months, hasn't he? Doesn't mean he can't come back strong like before. And I think football has become this sort of like we want success all the time, you know. Well, I think this season's been successful. We've won a trophy, you know. So I don't know. I think we're being a bit greedy at times where we want Mbappe, we want all these, you know, Diaz, Skriniar, whoever, you know. So there's other areas in the team. What I look at with City sometimes is this: it's a long time since we've bought a David Silva or a Sergio Aguero or a Yaya Toure or a Vinny Company. We haven't bought anybody of that caliber for quite some time, you know, and I think that's a bit of a letdown, really. I think Riyad Mahrez, 60 million, not worth it. You know, I think Rodri again, 63 million. You know, a lot of money for what we've seen in return so far. But I'm happy to give him. The Cancelo deal was a really strange one when we needed centre backs. The things have happened in the last sort of probably since last summer where we've like you said, 198 points over the last 2 seasons. Before that, you sit there thinking, you only have to replace one player a season, but we've suddenly got to this point where we need to half the team changing. We've got to get a decent keeper, haven't we, as a reserve keeper? That's a really important position because if Edison breaks down, we need a good keeper to come in, step in for him. And if Sergio, we need another striker. There's a lot left backs.
So many in there.
The left backs.
I'm going to stop you on that, Chris, because I think what you've done, and this is Martin's question, I think you've hit on something which is really, really important here. Thinking about it, and I think we can all get wrapped up in which player do we want, and everyone's got their own sort. Martin likes Skriniar, others like Cooper Meccano. Others like Koulibaly, others like this. I mean, we can name 1,000 million trillion players and blah, blah, blah. I think what you've hit on there with that point is, and which something I've thought about, but not for a long time. What sort of job have Cheeky and Ferran done? Because you've just turned around and said there and made a comment that, and I've always stuck up for those two. I've always said, we're always going to get the odd dud here, there, and never, and that's just natural wastage that happens. You can't get every single signing right, but you just said there, look, we've got 198 points over 2 seasons. We've got into this season, and now all of a sudden, let's face it, we haven't finished the season yet, and you're now talking about we need a second choice keeper. We need 2 centre-backs. We possibly need to replace a right-back. We possibly need another left-back. We possibly haven't... All right, I keep shouting out for Phil Foden and many others do. And, David Silva's going, but do we need another attacking midfielder? The Mahrez, is it really a great signing? Is it not? What about Leroy Sané? What about another Hold on a minute. We're suddenly talking about... We've come on the back of 198 points, 2 successive seasons, and now we're talking about 6, 7 players. We've not replaced Vinny. Is there something drastically wrong here, or are we just all a bit snowflakey and a bit sort of precious over this thing? Tom, you go on.
Yeah, I think we need to invest in passion. I haven't seen any passion. Well, I've seen a bit of passion, but you look at seasons gone by.
Did you watch it? Did you watch what's it called? SAS Who Dares Wins. Do you want a bit of Katie Price? Something like that. A bit of passion into the team. When you say passion, what do you mean by passion?
You look at the 2 derbies. You look at the 2 Manchester derbies this year. No determination, no passion, no wearing the badge.
But mate, I'm saying you want passion. Name me a player then that you think we could bring in, because that's a good point, because I've heard this on Twitter a few weeks ago. I was in a debate with somebody, and somebody said the similar thing, saying, "Oh no, there just doesn't seem to be that energy, that passion, that." And I'm thinking, well, okay, if you were going to bring a player in, we know Foden, but I'm talking to Tom about if you were to bring a player in then that you think could bring the passion. Let's say one player that would bring in passion. Who is that player with that passion that City has seemed to be missing recently?
It's a hard one because you don't really see it off many players. It's more of the older players that you see it on now. Sergio Ramos, you've got Sergio Ramos there. Bringing some of the older players in needs to happen at some point, because we've lost that.
Okay, what's the cut-off age then? Because clearly we've got a model, haven't we? We know we've got a model that we want to buy young and develop. And I know there's the argument that, Koulibaly is 28, he's going to be 29 in June and blah, 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 blah. But, I mean, at what point is it that City go back to, well, should we bring Vinny Kompany back because he's still only 33 years of age? I mean, how far do we go between this? We need some passion, we need this sort of thing. Who are those players that you think would bring passion?
Doesn't necessarily have to play every week, because you look at Fabian Delph. You look at him, and he was one of the biggest spokesmen in that dressing room.
But at the end of the season, many City fans wanted him out and said it was garbage.
I was sad when he left. And that's another thing. Look, you saw him in that Amazon Prime documentary, and he was always there telling people what they need to do and how the passion. You need somebody who wants to play for the fans, play for the club, and play for like the pride.
Are you really talking then about should we be bringing in English players?
It could be English players, it could be experienced players. We just need a little bit of experience and somebody who will come in and
name me one. Right, okay, Tom, you're the manager of Man City right now. Mm-hmm. You think we need a bit of passion, we need a bit of whatever it is that we think we've lost. Mm-hmm. You're the manager. Name me one player that would bring back a Vinny type of passion to Man City, not because he's done it at another club and like a Sergio Ramos at Real Madrid. Forget that, because that's what he's done at Real Madrid. Who would come in at Man City this summer or winter or whenever? Who do you think that player should be?
It's hard. It's a hard one.
I can give you an idea.
I'll come to you, Karl.
Okay, and then now see.
Come on. This is the thing. I mean, are you saying now? So you're saying Koulibaly. Has Koulibaly shown to you playing for Napoli that he's this big passionate player that would suddenly be a big passionate player at City?
Yeah, I don't think we should get him in terms of the money thing, but for passion, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I think that for me, the perfect person for Man City's playing style, unfortunately, is De Ligt. The kid who's not even. That's. I mean, we've only seen it at Ajax. We haven't really seen it since the move. But
struggling at
you get the Ajax De Ligt next to Laporte and a decent right back and left back. That kid is a leader. He's the really kind of leader.
Well, we've seen it, haven't we? We've seen it at Ajax.
Benucci.
Yeah, but that's who I was going to say.
Another. It's going to be an investment that is going to be very short term, very, very short. It's going to be a year, 18 months. That's it.
Do you think that if Kevin De Bruyne becomes captain, officially captain, we'll see that from him on the field of play?
Oh yeah, I think he's a definite captain for next season. Without
they shouldn't give it to Fernandinho. What anybody says, because that's the mistake. Also, this season, he's giving it to David Silva. As much as we all love him, that was a complete mistake because it's another wasted year. Because I know you're going to be angry, Andy, at that, but he doesn't have the leadership. He doesn't have the leadership.
And he's going.
How dare you? How very dare you?
I understand.
Nice you being on the channel, mate.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. You've been great the last few weeks. See you. Bye. Right. Okay. Back to. I'm only kidding.
Can we have an isolation?
Go
on, mate. Go on.
Yeah.
No. I get your point.
Yeah, I understand why we gave it him, but I think Kevin should have got it because it gave him because he's known Vinny for a while, in the national team. He knows his tricks. He knows what he's talking about. You see some of the games this season, he's the one who's led the team, urged them on. And I think he'll definitely be the captain, but I think it was a mistake not giving him it this season as well. Sorry, Andy.
Laporte is captain.
Nah.
I'd say, I mean, for next season, I must admit, I'd take KDB over Laporte. I must admit, I'd take KDB. Personally, I don't know.
Is KDB someone who'll stand in a dressing room and bollock it? Is there?
Yeah.
Well, it took Fernandinho to drag him away and tell him to shut up about 50 times when he was going at the referee.
And did you see that game where Otamendi?
One person talk.
Did you see that game where Otamendi made a mistake and Kevin was bollocking at him?
Yeah, exactly.
And he was
you need somebody like that. Nobody who's scared of the players. You have to have somebody.
Taking a penalty.
Huh?
How long did it take him to step up to take a penalty?
He took the most important. He took the biggest penalty of our season this season at Madrid.
Yes.
And he took it.
How many he'd missed?
He did turn around and say, I was willing to take a penalty every single game, but I was not in the pecking order. He did come out and say that.
but a captain doesn't get asked. A captain goes and uses his
Yeah,
initiative.
but he's not the captain. But he's not the captain.
Vincent Kompany didn't take a penalty for us, did he?
Vincent Kompany wouldn't go, I'm going to wait till I'm asked. Vincent Kompany'd stand up and rollick and tell them, I'm doing it before it's done.
Yeah, but you got Sergio Aguero is the number one penalty taker.
Sergio Aguero, I'm saying this now, I hate to say this and take you right out, he's not going to be City's number one striker next year.
Yep. You have to look
no, but that's irrelevant. What happens next year? We're talking about Kevin De Bruyne and why he didn't take penalties. It's a different thing.
We haven't had this problem with penalties until the past few years because we had Yaya, didn't we? So we've never had to discuss penalties in that sort of way. So Kevin probably didn't want to take a penalty. You know what I mean?
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Come on, Martin. Come on. You're getting frustrated there. Come on. It's all right. People disagree with you.
No, it's fine. But I'm one of these. A captain takes the initiative. He takes the lead. He doesn't wait to be asked.
Yeah, but he's not the captain.
He's not the captain.
Out of this current squad, Martin, who would be your captain?
You just said to me KDB would make a good captain.
Okay.
Why he wouldn't?
Chris has just said to you, who do you think would be the ideal captain?
Laporte.
Why didn't he step up and take the penalty?
He was injured.
Yeah, so that's just another problem then.
What have you seen from Laporte to say that?
Yeah, exactly.
There's no way.
He's not played, so how can he be the captain?
I think centre back should be captain. I think they're in the ideal position.
I agree with you. Give it John Stones. End of story. Right, we'll finish it there. John Stones next season.
Please no.
Give it Otamendi.
I've annoyed two of them now. Maybe three.
I'd rather have Zinchenko as captain, and that's going somewhere.
This other guy we've been linked with strongly over the last few days, who could be the David Silva replacement from Leon.
Oh, him. Yeah.
Don't talk about Aouar.
Oh wow, they are.
Now, I saw him live in Lyon. He's massively overrated. He has a brilliant game, and he has a half decent game.
Apparently, Pep is very big on him. He's very big on him.
Rubbish. Never.
And he's going to be the David Silva replacement.
Never. He don't even play David Silva's role. He plays wide right where Mahrez plays. Rubbish. Never, ever going to come to City. Never in a million years.
That's that
unless it's 30-40 million euros.
That's all it is. That's all it's for.
And it'll never be that. They will not let him go for that money.
They've said he can go for 45 million euros.
All right. So let's say he comes in. He plays wide right. He don't play in David Silva's role. And he's nowhere near a David Silva type of player. He's a Mahrez player. Exactly the same as Mahrez. So are we going to get rid of Mahrez? If you want to replace Mahrez for Aouar, I'm all for it.
It's better this year.
What have you got against Mahrez? I need to know this. What have you got against Riyad Mahrez?
I never said I've got anything against him. I just said if you want Aouar for Mahrez, I'll take Aouar for Mahrez.
I'll give you a stat now. Riyad Mahrez, as we have not lost a game.
It's the most boring stat I've heard for the last month. It's only the Algerian fanboys who give that stat. It's the most boring stat I've ever heard.
That's nearly as boring as that Zinchenko one, isn't it?
Yeah. The Zinchenko stat as well.
Zinchenko.
Oh, right, let's keep somebody because he came on for 3 minutes and he's never lost the game. It's rubbish. It's a rubbish stat.
90 minutes.
It's garbage.
Playing 90 minutes.
It's garbage. It's a garbage stat. It's nonsense.
I love Mahrez.
It's nonsense. It's a nonsense stat. Sorry. Do I want Aouar over Mahrez? I'm not bothered. Either. You can take either. I'm not bothered. I don't want Aouar at City, and I'm not bothered about Mahrez either. He can stay or go. I'm not interested because I think he's so average. If I'm being honest, his goal and stats and assist stats are okay. Might seem good. I don't know. It's all about opinions. I don't know. All right, Karl, Mahrez or Aouar?
None of the above.
Okay, all right, there you go. Tom?
Mahrez.
Chris?
I'm with Karl.
Neither.
Mahrez.
Martin loves Mahrez.
Mahrez has been better than Sterling this year.
He has, yeah. No, I'll give you that absolutely. No, I don't think anyone would disagree with him.
I've only got 6% on my battery.
What's that?
He's only got 6%
on my battery.
You know, there's something called a plug. It's something that was invented about 85 years ago. You can actually plug things in. We're in lockdown, but we do have electricity.
Yeah, we do.
Can I go and get it?
Bloody hell! What's he like, him?
Let me go and get it.
Honestly,
it's like Morecambe and Wise, isn't it?
Hello, viewers. This is Martin.
Well, if I'm Morecambe, are you wise?
I don't care anymore.
Should we just say that we're finishing it there when he comes back?
We'll do that as he comes down to plug it and say, okay. I'll just say, so thanks very much, guys. It's Andy from Man City Fan TV. We'll see you soon. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually turn it off. So I'll go off the Skype. All right, I'll go off the Skype and close it down.
Everybody knows.
Right there. Just wait for him to see. Wait for him to see,
Just
and I'll come back and we'll do the final bit very quickly.
Are we doing the golden questions?
We'll do it very. Are you all right, Karl, for time?
Oh yeah.
Okay, guys. So we'll listen. Karl, thank you very much for coming on. Really appreciate it, Chris. Thank you, Tom. Take care, everybody. This is Andy from Man City Fan TV. Don't forget, subscribe, hit the bell icon. That way you'll be notified whenever new videos come out. But take care, stay safe, and we'll see you soon.
He's going.